It should come as no surprise to my friends and viewers that trading card games have always had a very special place in my heart. In this series, both Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. Every week we will add an additional core set to our collections, moving in chronological order. We will use these cards to create a deck and then face off against one another in a best 2 out of 3 match, with the winner receiving 2 prizes to upgrade their deck, while the loser receives 1. These prizes can range from wildcards, to sealed product, to starter decks, and more. Every card that has been released will be available to us at least once. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to banish into the Shadow Realm, and even the way the very rules of the game will change, will keep our decks and our duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Alright, we're here. We're finally here. Phantom Darkness. This set released in February of 2008, and this set is infamous because this set released so many powerful monsters that helped boost the dark attribute to greatest heights. And it also released one of the cards that led to so many players quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! For many years, and we will get to that in just a moment. Now, last episode, we pretty much got blown out, and unfortunately, we're now in the catch-up side. But that's perfectly fine, because we can still try to catch up here, and depending on what we pull in this set, things can really change a lot. So let's go through some of the key comments here. So, one of the big things to pay attention for this set is that it carries a lot of dark support. For example, Dark Crusader here is a good common. It's a level 4 dark monster with 1600 attack, and you could send a dark monster from your hand to the grave to give it 400 points permanently, and this effect can happen more than once per turn. So if we have a whole bunch of dark monsters in hand and we need something big, we could just toss them and get this guy to have a really high attack power. And trust me, the name of the game for a lot of these cards is going to be having a lot of dark monsters in the graveyard. Scrolling down a little more, we have Gladiator Beast Darius, which we kind of want to see a couple of, at least, given the fact that it's going to be in the Gladiator Beast archetype. And its special effect is that when it's summoned through a Gladiator Beast monster effect, you could target a Glad in your graveyard to special summon it, but negate its effects. So, and it gets shuffled into the deck when this card leaves the field, which is honestly pretty good, because it lets you recycle another monster. Scrolling down some more, we have a couple more of the effigy cards, which we're really not going to pay attention to. Which, by the way, fun fact, Wind Effigy actually does not have... Wind Effigy actually has a total of 1 legal monster to work with for this card. And it is the Cimoooooooo Bird of Divinity, which it itself is a special... it's an effect monster that treats itself as a normal monster in the hand. That's it. Scrolling through, we also see a couple other Gladiator Beast cards that'll be pretty good. And scrolling a bit further down, Proving Ground is actually going to be a really big card. This is basically reinforcement of the army for Glads. So we definitely want to see 3 of this. Rainbow Path is a card for the Crystal Beast archetype. It's actually not too bad, I think. When your opponent attacks, you can send a Crystal Beast from your spell and trap zone to the grave. You can negate that attack, and then you could add a Rainbow Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is a pretty good effect. And then, looking down through the rest of these, there aren't a whole lot of good other ones. Double Tag Team's kind of neat. If you special summon a Glad monster, you can special summon another one from your hand or deck, which can be pretty brutal if we can get this going. Scrolling up into the short prints, we actually have 4 of these, and these are going to be, again, these are commons as well. Dark World Grimoire is actually kind of a nice card. It's a continuous spell. At the end of the turn, if you discard a dark monster, if you discard a monster to the graveyard because of your hand size limit, you can actually special summon one of those monsters, which is actually pretty nice. And the best part is, it doesn't have to be a Dark World monster. We can actually use that if we expect to have a whole bunch of cards in our hand anyway, we can actually use this to special summon a monster at the end of our turn, which is kind of nice. And Chain Material is actually another card that's going to be huge for later down the road. With this card's effect, if you fusion summon a monster during this turn, you can banish monsters from your field, your deck, your hand, or your graveyard in order to summon a fusion monster. And those monsters you can't attack with those monsters, and the fusion monsters get destroyed at the end of the turn. However, if you combine this with something like Fusion Gate and other ways to recycle monsters or bring them back, then you could create a huge, powerful loop. In fact, this is one of the cards that led to the infamous Electrum OTK. And while we don't have access to that, even if we pull this card, the fact is, we could later on use this to summon a whole bunch of fusion monsters for Link plays, or for Xyz plays, or something like that. So, definitely something worth paying attention to. And then we're going to scroll up here, and we see some of the rares. And again, the rares have so much good to them. Shadow Priestess of Ohm is a basic level 4 monster that can deal 800 damage if you sacrifice a dark monster. Gigaplant is one of the few Gemini monsters that is considered really good. Once its effect is active, you can special summon an insect or plant from your hand or graveyard once per turn. And this card has led to a number of OTKs before. Super Polymerization is also a good one, and probably one that we're really going to have to pay attention to. This card lets you discard a card to fusion summon a monster from your extra deck using monsters on both sides of the field. And it's spell speed 4, meaning nothing can be chained in response to it. So, we don't have a whole lot of good options for it at the moment, but if we end up playing something like a mirror match in Heroes, this card can be devastating. Six Samurai United is a card we definitely want to see as well. It has the effect where every time a Six Samurai monster is special summoned or normal summoned, you put a Bushido counter on this card. It could get up to 2 counters, and then you could send it to the grave and draw a card for each counter on it. Now, right now, that's actually a pretty decent effect. You max it out, you could get a Pot of Greed. However, there are cards later that will come in handy with Bushido counters and can help this card basically go even more insane. Trust me, it's going to go nuts. Dark Illusion is another big one. This is actually a fun one. If a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that targets a dark monster, you can negate that effect and destroy that card. So, if your opponent is trying to target your monster with something, this card will shut them down quick. And the fact that it's only a rare is really good. Like, I'm not even joking. This set has so many good commons and rares, it is unbelievable. Lone Fire Blossom is another well-known rare that is good for Plant Synchro decks later on the road. So, scrolling up into the super rares, here we actually have a few that aren't as big, but we have a couple of good ones here. Cyber Valley is one of the better ones out of this set. It has 3 effects. You can either banish this card to draw a card and end the battle phase if it's attacked, or you could banish itself and another monster you control to draw 2 cards, or you could target a card in your graveyard, banish this card and a card in your hand, and then spin that card in your graveyard back to the top of your deck. It is actually a really good card, and it's a good way to blank a battle phase. Armageddon Knight is a card that we definitely want to see. If it's summoned, you get to send a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. No restrictions. So, this will be a huge player if we could pull it. And then, going into the ultra rares here, this is where we get into some of the more powerful stuff. So, one of the big things of Phantom Darkness is this set created a number of dark theme monsters that are counterparts to other monsters that already came out. For example, Dark Horus is a dark variant of Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8. So, once per turn, after a spell card that activated during your opponent's main phase resolves, you could bring out a level 4 dark monster in your graveyard. It doesn't necessarily have the same kind of effect as the base monster, but it's still a really strong card. We have Dark Knight Parshath, which is also a pretty good card. If it destroys a monster in battle, you could draw a card by banishing a dark monster, and it gains 100 attack for every dark monster in your graveyard. So this is a pretty strong card in general. And then we have Allure of Darkness, which is probably the best ultra rare. You could draw 2 cards and banish a dark monster from your hand, but if you have no dark monsters in your hand after you draw 2, you have to send your entire hand to the graveyard. So it's definitely a bit risky, but if you pull this and you're running a dark deck, this card will be huge. But now we go into the big notes. The secret rares. Unlike the other set, this set only had 10 secret rares. However, many of them are extremely powerful, and this was actually one of these sets that led to a lot of legal trouble later on between Konami and Upper Deck, which we'll probably discuss that detail a fair bit later. But looking at the monsters available here, we have Dark Grepher, a monster that, if it's summoned, you could special summon it by sending a level 5 or higher dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. And then, once per turn, you could discard a dark monster to send a dark monster from the deck to the graveyard. This lets you fill up your graveyard ridiculously quickly. Rainbow Dark Dragon is basically the dark variant of Rainbow Dragon. You summon it by banishing 7 dark monsters with different names in your graveyard, and then you can banish all other dark monsters in your field and graveyard to give this monster 500 points for every card banished. And the best part is, this one can use its effects the same turn it's summoned. It is powerful. The Dark Creator is one of my personal favorites. And then you see this guy. And anyone who's played Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively at all back during this time frame will remember this monster, and probably remember that this was the card that led to you quitting for a while. Dark Arm Dragon. You summon it by having exactly 3 monsters in your graveyard, and you could just drop it on the field. At the time, Dark Arm Dragon was not limited, so you could drop all 3 on the field at the same time with no cost. And then, you could banish a dark monster in your graveyard, and then target a card on the field and pop it. This card, when it came out, was a $350 card. And you needed 3 of them to be competitive in Yu-Gi-Oh's tournaments anymore. That is why a lot of people wound up quitting the game for the longest time. And if we pull this card, Rai is going to shit a brick. Now granted, because of how our banning system works, he may not survive very long. But, the few times he is around, he is going to be big. So with that being said, we're going to go into the pack opening and see what we can run into. And hopefully we hit one of the big bombs. Alright, 24 packs of Phantom Darkness. I am so nervous for this. Let's flip the first pack. Okay, so nothing extremely big, but we have a Chain Material, which is good. We hit up Super Polymerization, which is good. We want to see at least one. And we have a Gladiator Beast Battle Archfiend Shield. This card has the effect that it could destroy itself instead of the monster that's equipped. And if it's sent to the graveyard because the monster equipped to it was shuffled to the deck, then it goes back to your hand. So this is a really good card to keep in mind. So for a first, as much as we didn't get a big bomb for the first pack, like last time, this is going to be a good pack nonetheless. Second pack, and we are hitting a number of big cards. We have a Gladiator Proving Ground, which is really good. We have Dark Crusader, which is going to be very nice as well. Dark World Grimoire can definitely come in handy. And we hit a Darius. So all in all, these 4 cards definitely make the pack really good. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm seriously nervous. Oh my god! Yes! 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 Holy shit, we hit Rainbow Dark Dragon. Dude, I didn't even notice it. I was just paying attention to the left-hand side at first. Holy shit. Oh my god, Rai, you are so fucked. Dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna get to be Dark Jesse now. Oh man, is there anything else here that's even notable? Obsidian Dragon's kind of nice for 2100 defense, but I guess that's about it. But god damn. Just god damn, dude. Rai, you are so gonna suffer for this one. Okay, okay, I'm finally settling down from that Rainbow Dark Dragon pull. So we hit a 6 Samurai United, which is good. I'm hoping we see 2 more of these, because I'm pretty sure this never gets limited, so that's going to be important. And we hit another Battle Archfiend Shield, so that's going to be a good card to have as well. Alright, next pack. Alright, Transmigration Break is actually an interesting card. So, any cards that would be sent back from the deck, from the graveyard to the deck, are banished instead. There aren't very many situations where this actually comes into play. However, there might be a case once in a blue moon where that actually matters. But double tag team is really good. Another Dark Crusader. I think that's our 3rd one already. So all in all, definitely a good start to us. Alright, another super rare, a Golden Flying Fish. Admittedly, not very good of a card, but you know what? It's neat, and it's a light monster, so, whatever. Looking at the rest of it, though, another Dark Rope Grimroar, that's kind of nice. Dimension Explosion, what is this card? Return a face-up fusion monster you control to the extra deck. Both players select up to 2 of their monsters that are banished, special summon them. Ooh. Ooh, that's actually interesting. I'll have to double check and see if we can actually make use of this if the opponent doesn't have any cards banished. But that might be interesting. Okay, so it actually turns out that we cannot activate it if one of us has no banished monsters. So, yep, unfortunately this card is kind of useless to us now. That's depressing. Oh well, next pack. Ooh, okay, here's a nice one. So, another Transmigration Break is kind of neat. Another Archfiend Shield. I think this is our playset. And Blue Thunder T45. Now, for a fun little fact, this is actually one of my favorite monsters that isn't considered a boss monster. Just because this was a card that I played a lot as a teenager, just because I thought it was interesting and fun, and I really like it. If it destroys a monster in battle, you can special summon a Thunder option token that has 1500 attack and defense. Unfortunately, the token can't be attributed for a summoning, but it's still kind of nice nonetheless, and I really enjoy this card, so neat to have. Okay, so we see a Rainbow Path, that's good to see. And we also have another Gladiator Proving Ground, so that's 2. Hopefully we hit a 3rd in the next 15 packs. Rainbow Veil, I'm trying to remember what this card does. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster, while that monster's on the field, its effects negated during the battle phase only. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Don't necessarily think it's useful to us, but kind of neat nonetheless. Oh baby, we hit a good one here. So, another Gladiator Beast Darius, that's good to see. Another Blue Thunder T45, my baby. We got a Dark Illusion, so that's really good. And we hit a super rare Armageddon Knight. Holy hell. That's actually going to help facilitate Rainbow Dark Dragon a lot faster than we thought. Yes, yes, yes. Now I'm remembering why I love Phantom Darkness as a pack so much. Okay, so we have another 6 Sam United and another double tag team. And our Rainbow Paths are now officially complete, so very good here. Even though we don't have any big cards, this is definitely a good pack for us. Okay, so another Chain Material is nice. And that's our 3rd double tag team, so that's good to see right there. We're a little over halfway through, and honestly, these things are going really well for us. There's another 6 Sam United. I think we already have a playset of that. And an ultimate rare Vampire's Curse. What is this? When this card is destroyed in battle and sent to the grave, you can pay 500 life points, special summon it during the standby phase of the next turn, and when you do, it gains 500 attack. I mean, it's a decent card, I guess, but not necessarily something I would go over the hills for. Okay, so there's our 3rd Gladiator Proving Ground, which is good. And we pulled a Shadow Priestess of Ohm, so that's also kind of good. That's our 3rd and all, so we at least have that for if we really need beat sticks, but honestly, we're definitely winding down, but these are coming up pretty good. Ooh, another Shadow Priestess of Ohm, a third Blue Thunder T45, that's kind of nice, and a Field Commander Roz. Let's see, for our super rare. When it's normal or special summon, choose a level 4 or lower warrior from the deck, accept itself, place it on top. Not the best card, admittedly, but you know what? It's another holo. It's hard to complain about that. Alright, so 3 more packs to go. Let's see what we can run into. Okay, there's another 6 Sam United. We already have a playset of that, though, so kind of meh. And I think we have a playset of pretty much everything here. That's okay, though. No big deal. Second to last pack. And Chain Summoning, I think, is a new card for us, but it's kind of... I don't know. It's difficult. If you activate it as a Chain Link 3 or higher, you could normal summon or set up to 3 times in the turn. So I mean, that's not bad. It's just a little rough to get to. What is this? Aztecapede the Warm Warrior. Must be special summoned by banishing an insect in your graveyard. If it deals battle damage, mill the top card. It's okay, but it's not necessarily anything special. Okay, last pack. Can we get something really good in the end? Flip it up, and it doesn't look like it. Another Proving Ground, but we already had 3. We hit a Lone Fire Blossom, though, so that's kind of neat. You could tribute a face-up plant, special summon a plant from the deck. Now, it can sack itself. The only downside is, because we don't have more than 1 of this, it kind of makes it a little less useful for later. But, you know what, nonetheless, we hit some really good stuff, and the fact that we hit Rainbow Dark Dragon so early on makes it such a good pull. Like, we definitely hit some really good stuff here, and then that at the start just makes the pulls that much better. So guys, we're going to go straight into the deck edit and see what we can come up with. Stay tuned. Alright, so here's our deck list for today's duel. And yes, you are right, it is Dark Worlds yet again. The reason is because we're going to see what we can do with our Dark support. Now, I do recognize that Rai more than likely has Shadow Imprisoning Mirror in his side deck. I'm well aware of that. However, I feel like we have enough options to counteract that, and if not, our side deck can help deal with it as well. Let's go through the card by card here. First off, we have our 1 Armageddon Knight. This is probably one of the best dark monsters in the entire game. We could summon this card, pitch a dark monster from our deck to the graveyard. Unfortunately, it sends it to the graveyard instead of discarding it, so it doesn't actually set off any Dark World effects. But that being said, being able to pull another dark monster into the graveyard when we need it is going to be a big benefit. We have 2 copies of Beige, Vanguard of Dark World. Simple effect, discard it, special summon it, simple as that. Brawn is here mostly as an 1800 attacker, and it can discard a card if we need to, which can set us up with another Dark World. Our 1 Crystal Seer, which we forgot to include the last couple times that we've had a chance with it, and quite frankly, I'm kind of stupid for that. But this will let us cycle a couple of cards, put a card back on the bottom of the deck if we don't really need it, so that's going to be helpful. 1 copy of Dawn Zalug. This is here primarily so that way if we get in with a clean hit, we can discard a card from Rai's hand or mill 2 cards. I'm expecting Rai to be playing Legendary Ocean, so I'm going to be hoping that we can pull those out of his hand, or at least mill them off the deck. 1 copy of Exile Force. I figure this being in the main is okay, because we can use this to clear out an opposing threat early on. 2 copies of Gold, 1 copy of Gren, 1 copy of Khaki. I cut them down to 1 simply because we need more dark names, and it also doesn't help as much if we draw these guys and can't discard them. 1 copy of Magician of Faith to help retrieve our spells. 1 Mobius. Rainbow Dark Dragon. Thank God we pulled this. I really like this card. And I will be honest, this is definitely going to be a very hard card to summon, but This is why we have as many dark monsters as we do here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different dark monsters in our deck. We need to have 7 of them to banish. So, yeah. And considering that's 10, not counting Rainbow Dark, that's very helpful for us in general. More than half of our monsters will fit that bill. 1 copy of Ryza, 1 Sangan, 2 Silva, and our Witch to round things out. Fun detail, Witch can actually search out Rainbow Dark Dragon. For our spells, we have 1 Book of Moon, our Card of Safe Return, we have Confiscation, 2 Dark World Dealings, 2 Dark World Lightning, this will help for removal, as well as discard if we need to. 1 Giant Trunade, 1 Graceful Charity. I am willing to bet Graceful Charity is going to get banned at the end of the season, but we'll see. 1 Heavy Storm, 2 Mystic Plasma Zone, primarily to help deal with, to give our monsters the extra attack boost and to potentially deal with a Legendary Ocean. 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. We pulled 3 out of the Zane Truesdale packs, but because we can only play 1 right now, this will be all we can use for at the moment. But the fact that we actually have it is very nice. 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Swords, and 1 Terraforming to round out the spells for our traps. 1 Call of the Haunted, 1 Magic Cylinder. Our Ring of Destruction is now in the main deck. If we can deal with a Giga Gaga Gigo early on, yeah, we're going to take a lot of damage, but it also clears out Rise Monster. And 2 copies of Sakuretsu Armor. Extra deck is the same thing as before, a bunch of cards we're never going to make use of. We don't even have Metamorphosis in here anymore to summon out Thousand Eyes. For the side deck, though, we're going to go into a full-on Chaos package. We have Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, we have Chaos Sorcerer, 2 Cyber Dragon, DD Warrior Lady, we have Fusion Devourer to deal with in case he summons out heroes, we have 2 Magical Merchant and our Grand Mole. We also have Dark Hole. Painful Choice is going to help a lot for the sake of getting our monsters out if we need them, to fill out the graveyard with our dark monsters, as well as getting our chaos fuel. And 3, negate attack in case we really need that extra power, that extra turn. So, this is what we've got, and we're going to see what we come up with. Hopefully, we could take Rai down and not let his winning streak continue. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to duel.
Recording has started.
So, time for us to enter one of the most disgusting sets of the series.
It is a pretty disgusting set. Thankfully, this is just a few days after Phantom Darkness came out, so no one here in Houston has cards.
Right.
I am really looking forward to getting a gold sarcophagus, and hopefully I can get it on today's duel.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I could break this losing streak.
No kidding. Well, that's a good start.
Damn. Alright.
I will take the play. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck.
Alright, draw for turn. Stand by main. This is a good start.
Yeah, that's a good start, alright.
This is also a good start.
Oh, man.
What you got? On the Dark Worlds, I see.
You want to be a bro and drop the Silva?
Nah, let's get rid of the Trunade.
Alright.
I don't like that magic cylinder very much, though. But, you are right, I do have it.
Shit.
As if I was gonna play anything else, go ahead.
Alright. Stand by
Not gonna
main.
lie. Not gonna lie, if this duel wasn't for a Gold Sark, I would be playing something else, but this deck is way too consistent.
Right. If only Mobius were a level 5, I could at least drop him on the field, but...
Yeah, I noticed your hand was a little bricky.
I guess I'll just set a couple and pass.
Draw for turn, stand by main. I'll go ahead and run out this BES Crystal Core.
Alright.
I'll proceed to the battle phase. I will attack with Crystal Core into your set, which is
Gonna be the khaki.
the khaki, and then I will proceed to take 2650.
Yep.
I gotta play through it. Go.
Alright, draw. Standby, main. Ugh. I will set a card and pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. I'll run out a Warrior of Atlantis.
Alright.
I'm gonna proceed to battle. Warrior of Atlantis into your set.
Alright, that was my beige.
And then I'll remove a counter to attack. It'll be 23 and 2650. Big hits. Go.
Draw. Yeah, that was quick.
Yep.
Alright.
What can I say? I've said it for the last few duels. Big numbers hit hard.
Yes, they do. But at least I get to go on the play now.
You do.
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. I think I'm going to just set a monster and pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. Might as well.
Yeah, alright, that's good.
I'll go ahead and fire terraforming.
Of course. Alright.
There's that. Big boy.
Alright.
26 into your set.
You fool! You hit my 300 defense.
So you have a Crystal Seer as well. This card's
Yeah,
sweet.
I forgot to use it last time. So let's see what we hit. Ooh.
Rainbow Dark Dragon.
Well, that's not quite how I wanted to...
Well, then.
That's not quite how I wanted you to learn about this card.
It's not dad, but it's still scary. That's not dad.
As much as I would love to pick that up, I think Brawn is probably my better play.
Main phase 2, I will set 3. Go.
Alright, draw. Standby, main. I think I'm going to start by setting a card face down. Then I'm going to special summon my Sidra.
That is a Cyber Dragon.
And then I will also set a monster and pass.
Draw for turn, stand by, main. I am just going to go to battle and clear out the Sidra.
Alright.
And then I will pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby, main. Ooh, there's a play. Actually, that's not a bad idea at all. Alright, so I'm going to start by sacrificing my Sangin to summon out my gold, Wu Lord of Dark World.
You have a gold.
I have a Sangin.
You do have a Sangin effect.
I'm going to add... I guess I'll add a new card, another new card, my Armageddon Knight.
Oh, you got an Armageddon Knight. That card's sick.
I'm going to activate Call of the Haunted, targeting my Sangin. Do you have any response?
That's pretty good. You got it.
Alright. I'm going to run out Heavy Storm.
That's gross. That's bad. Let's go ahead and Palm Pulse your gold.
Alright.
You get some good ones.
Judgment.
I thought about judgmenting the Heavy Storm, but
I figured I'd either get my Sangan off again, or I get to or I'll be able to clear your field. So I guess I'll go ahead and add my DD Warrior Lady to hand this time.
Yep.
I really don't like doing this now, but I have to press an advantage. I'm going to banish my Sangan and my Cyber Dragon.
Oh, you have Emperor. Oh, BLS. Yep.
Yeah, Emperor's banned.
I'm thinking of the other series.
Fair. Alright. Let's go ahead and hit.
36 in.
Main phase 2.
Gross.
I will pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. I'm just going to set 2 and pass.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. I'm going to activate Dark World Dealings.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So each draw, then discard. And I know you have a gold.
I have a gold. The question is...
What can be better than gold? Oh god, so bad.
I drew something, and I kind of wish it was a different thing, but yeah, I'm going to run out the gold.
You got it.
Let's see. Then I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to go into battle. Let's hit for 3.
I do have Mirror Force, thankfully, so I'm not dead.
That is why I am glad I did not do that yet. I'm going to set a monster and pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. Oh, thank god.
Ooh, good choice. Alright.
What do I not want to draw? Go for that. Two bunguses. Then what do I not want to draw? So it's Crystal Seer, 2 bunguses, a Confi, and a DD Pro.
Let's see. Honestly, as much as I would like, as much as I want to give you a bungus, I feel like you probably have ALO in your hand. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the Crystal Seer.
I'm going to set a monster. Could be anything.
Could be anything.
And I'll pass the turn.
Alright, I draw. Stand by main. Ooh, that's not a bad... Alright, so I'm going to start by flip summoning my Magical Merchant.
Yup.
Merch gonna merch.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good pickup.
Yeah, sack is pretty good.
Okay. Now, what do I want to do? I'm gonna summon my Armageddon Knight.
That's pretty good. What you dumping?
Let's see what we can afford to lose.
You can't dump Plague Spreader yet.
I think I'm gonna dump my Silva. Unfortunately, I can't. Unfortunately, this does not trigger Silva's effect, but
No, it does not.
at the very least, I could get out of it, so. Alright, battle phase. Merchant your Seer.
It is the Crystal Seer. So...
The fact that Merchant can actually beat over that is hilarious. Ooh, that's
I'm going
some
to
pretty
take
good cards.
the Aqua Spirit. And then this will go on the bottom.
And Armageddon Knight hits you for 14.
I do have Call of the Haunted.
Ooh. Okay.
I am assuming you're not going to redeclare.
Unfortunately. Well, main 2. I'll set a couple of cards. And I will pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I'm going to make you make some very hard decisions. I am going to banish Amphibious and Terror King Salmon for a Fenrir.
Ooh.
I am going to banish Terror King Salmon and Crystal Seer.
Oh.
For another Fenrir.
Oh, that's a real problem.
I will normal summon Mermaid Knight.
Oh, God.
I will proceed to the battle phase.
Okay.
Fenrir into your Magical Merchant.
Oh, man. God damn.
Want to sack it?
I'm going to... God, I don't like that because I... Alright, you know what? I'm gonna have to lose my next draw phase regardless, so I'm gonna Book of Moon my Merchant.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yep.
So,
So you'll get to merch again. Oh, you got another sack. That's pretty good. So then you skip your draw.
I will turn off auto draw.
I'm going to attack with Mermaid Knight into your Armageddon Knight.
That will be 100 damage.
And then I'm going to proceed to put this Giga Gaga Gigo into my graveyard.
Yes, you will.
Yep.
And I will take 1400 from the wolf.
You will. Go.
Alright. Skip draw phase. Standby. Main. Well, the good news for me is that I actually have a somewhat useful way of clearing a bit of this out. I'm going to run out Braun, Mad King of Dark World.
Oh, that's gross.
Braun's going to go in and take out a Fenrir.
I take 4. You're going to get a big boy.
Actually, I'm not. I get to activate Braun's effect and pitch Khaki to pop your other Fenrir.
Yeah, that's pretty good also.
Main phase 2, I will set 1 card and I will pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main.
I know you have Aqua Spirit, but Aqua Spirit itself cannot deal with it with Braun directly.
Correct.
And you don't have a way to clear me, so I actually have a little breathing room here.
I'm going to pass the turn, and then during your standby phase, I'm going to shift your Braun to defense position.
Alright. Main phase 1. Let's see. Let's go ahead and run out our DD Warrior Lady.
That's pretty good.
Battle. Warrior Lady will hit into your defense. Let's see what you've got.
Would you like to banish?
Ooh. Let's see. You have 2 Fenrir already gone. You have 1 Aqua Spirit out. I'm going to assume you have at least 1 more, and probably a 3rd Fenrir. Mermaid Knight can be picked up. Gaga Gigo could get picked up. Salmon could get picked up. Yeah, as much as I don't want to do it, I feel like I have to banish.
Yep.
Alright. Main phase 2, I will set a card and I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. I think this plays around Sack the best. This is going to seem weird, but I'm actually going to run out Warrior of Atlantis as a monster.
Ooh. Alright.
I'm going to go to battle phase. I'm going to hit into the defense position Brawn.
Alright.
Aqua Spirit 16 direct.
I will take 35 full.
Okay. Go.
Draw. Standby main. And 100 points off. Unfortunately, I have to admit defeat. Because I have a Saku. My other face down is True Nate, and I just drew Mystic Plasma. So even if you didn't draw a monster next turn, your lowest 2 output is 3,100. Okay, yep. Yeah, and that basically made it unimportant anyway. Damn.
Yeah, that was a good set. I get the feeling that Legendary Ocean is probably getting banned very soon. The question is, do you want to ban just the Legendary Ocean, or do you want to ban Umi, which would ban all versions of that card? That'll be a question to be answered our next duel.
Right.
Well, that makes me a happy camper. Well, it could end up getting banned. It could end up getting banned depending on what you spin.
True.
Alright, good stuff.
Good stuff. Let's see, was there anything else that I ended up drawing that I didn't show? No, it looks like that was pretty... No, it looks like Armageddon and Rainbow Dark was pretty much the only notables, really. Man, that was interesting, but alright.
Yeah. Yup.
So you get your Gold Sark now, which is going to be even more fun.
Hey, Gold Sark has a lot more accessibility later on.
True.
Like, Gold Sark has a lot more accessibility than CCV.
Good point. Let's see. So I still only get 1 spin on the loser's wheel, right?
Yes, but you do. Yes, but it is scary. Just let me know if you spin a ban, because I might have to. Because you might have to.
Right.
I obviously, if you get a ban, I know what you're banning.
Right.
So around this time in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, there were a swath of promotional cards that we won't be able to get anywhere else in the game for quite some time. So we have a lot of those to go over. We're going to be starting the promo listing with the GX Tag Force Evolution promos, which are pretty good. This has the Nurse... A lot of this is just Nurse Burn stuff.
It really is.
So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Dark Lord Nurse Reticule, and then you can take one of the other ones.
Which, I honestly don't even remember what exactly these two do. Let's see. Dark Cure. When your opponent summons a monster, they gain life equal to half the attack of one of the monsters of your choice. And Brutal Potion. This card becomes an equip. Once per turn, you inflict damage to your opponent with a card effect. The equipped monster gains 1,000 attack. Wow. Both of these suck, actually. Well, I think I'm going to take the Dark Cure just because that one helps a lot more with the Nurse Burn deck in general, so maybe I can make use of it later, but at the same time, this also keeps you from having it.
And then next is one of the really big promo sets. The World Championship promo cards are almost always really good, and the 2008 game, I actually did get this one. This was no exception. 2 of the 3 cards are pretty strong, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Dimensional Prison.
Yeah, unsurprising. That's probably the best promo card this year, so I'm going to take the Burden of the Mighty, because until we hit Xyz format, this is actually a pretty useful card, and a pretty good little floodgate, because it doesn't do anything to stop your opponent from attacking, per se, but it makes them have to make the effort in order to, like, overcome it.
No,
And
that card's really strong, and it is notorious for being in almost every early game deck in the 5D's DS games. It
Yep.
makes it very difficult to win duels in the early game.
It really does.
And then these next two cards we're going to be treating as a set. We had a couple of miscellaneous promo cards that came out. Lad in particular had a very unusual method in which it was released. I believe this was a big box store promo.
I think so. Yeah, now I remember, because yeah, it was like, I want to say you got like a few packs of something. I think it might have been Phantom Darkness or something along those lines, or maybe it was a Dark Revelation pack.
Oh,
But
you know what?
but you also ended up getting a copy of Lad as a promotional card to go with it, because it was like 2 or 3 packs of the reprint, and then the Lad.
And then there was also a Shonen Jump promo that came out that you're gonna like, because you're gonna be getting this one. But I will go ahead and scoop up this Lad.
All right. So yeah, the card that we're looking at is called Vandalion?
Vandalgion, the Dark Dragon Lord.
Right. And actually, let me look and see what it is real quick. So, yeah, this is actually a pretty good card. 2800 attack, level 8. You can summon this card, and if it's... Oh, okay, so it's depending on the type of card it negates.
Yep.
Oh, wow, yeah, this is pretty strong. Negate a spell, inflict 1500 damage, negate a trap, target and destroy a card your opponent controls. That's actually pretty nice. And then for a monster, you could get a Monster Reborn effect. That's actually really... Okay, you know what? This is actually something I'm going to be happy about, because I didn't really pay attention to that.
And then we have the 2007 Collector's Tins, which they came out in 2 waves, but we're treating this as 1 unit to make sure we get the same number of cards. And I really hate to burst your bubble on this, but I am going to go ahead and grab the Sapphire Pegasus, because that was the one thing I was missing.
Oh, come on!
That was the only card I was missing to play Crystal Beast.
God damn it, right. Well, you know what? I guess I can't be too upset, because, let's be real, if you didn't, you were going to ban Pegasus at some point, right?
Probably something else out of the deck.
But, I mean, if you ban any of the Crystal Beasts, it kills the deck entirely, so... But, it sucks, but I recognize why. The sad part is the rest of these cards honestly suck. Like Doomfire, I already have 2 of, and I can't play it.
If only we could get a Tri-Blaze Accelerator.
And
I have a Doomfire also.
And let's see, we both have Rainbow Dragon. What does Plasma Vice even do? Sparkman and Blade Edge. Okay. You know what? It's as ridiculous as it is. I think I'll take the Plasma Vice, because it actually isn't that bad. Piercing damage, and you could discard a card to pop an opponent's attack monster.
No, it's not. It's not bad at all. That being the case, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Plasma.
Yeah, I figured as much. Well, I guess I'm going to go full-on Jesse Anderson, and I'll take a second Rainbow Dragon then.
And I'll go ahead and grab a second Doomfire in case I ever get the chance to get a Tri-Blaze Accelerator, but I doubt it.
And that leaves me with the Grand Neos, which, yay, yet another Elemental Hero Neos fusion that I'm never going to summon.
Yep. And then we have one more set of magazine promos to discuss, none of which will really impact our meta. This was a set of 4 magazine promos that were released in early 2008. None of these cards are particularly relevant to our meta, but I think the best one of these, even though it's a little slow, is probably Blast Sphere. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Blast Sphere.
You know, I was really hoping you weren't gonna pick that one because I personally wanted to keep that one, to get that one, but I'm not entirely shocked. But you know what? That's fine. That means I actually get to channel my inner Joey Wheeler and take the copycat card.
I'll
Which
go ahead and
honestly,
grab.
this is actually a pretty good card in general, though, because if nothing else, this lets you match your opponent's strongest monster, and if nothing, so effectively, it's at the very least removal. And if you
And then
have a
I'll.
way to clear it, you can still get a big body on the field then.
Yep, and then I'll go ahead and grab cloning.
Which then leaves me with Relieve Monster, which I don't even know what this card does. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target a monster you control, return that target to the hand, special summon a level 4 from your hand. I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but meh.
And then, of course, this card I'm super excited to have because I ended up winning that duel after going to Houston. I will get to add a copy of Gold Sarcophagus to my collection.
Yep. Yeesh.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and. Okay, so you go ahead and do your wheel and let me know if a Legendary Ocean is being removed from the format of duel early.
Alright, so let's go to the wheel then. Alright. So, unfortunately, with the loss, and with all of our promos divvied up, it is now time to get to the final part of our prize, which is the catch-up wheel. We still only get one spin of it, but we still have quite a lot out of here. And honestly, if we hit pretty much anything, this will be pretty good. Though, I am very much tempted to hit the ban, hoping we hit the ban one card, so I could just ban Yumi and be done with this shit. But let's give it a few spins and see what we hit. Oh, you son of a bitch! I don't know what's more sad. The fact that, okay, I got the ban card, which is good. We know what we're going to do with that. But damn, so close to any 3 cards. Oh. Damn. Well, unsurprisingly, our ban is going to be Yumi. Now, the reason we're picking Yumi is twofold. One, it is an important spell card for a lot of water decks, especially Rise. And two, you might be questioning, why the hell am I banning Yumi and not a Legendary Ocean? Well, a Legendary Ocean has the effect of, the card's name is always treated as Yumi. Which means that not only does this card count as Yumi in that regard, but technically I couldn't even call a Legendary Ocean if I wanted to. Because it counts itself as Yumi, so... But the nice thing is, this means we get to ban 2 cards in 1 effectively. Unfortunately, that's all we've got. Hopefully next episode, when Light of Destruction, we will hit enough stuff. We will be able to actually come back. And now that Rai cannot play his deck, we're going to hope for the best. So, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.